everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of my course vlogs. Now, as you can see behind me, we are out here today at Los Verdes golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. We're out here around the edge of the earth. It's good stuff. I love it. Hey, if you're new to the channel, please click the like button down below. That's wrong. Hey, if you're new to the channel, please click the subscribe button down below. I'd love to have you back here week after week. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. We'll see you out there on the first hole. A absolutely beautiful property here out on the tip of Rancho Palos Verdes. This is the edge of California, and that is the beautiful Pacific Ocean. This first hole is gonna drop off the hill straight down to that fairway and then climb all the way back up to the green. But before it does that, a hard 90-degree turn to the left. This might be something you might want to cut the corner off the tee or lay back to avoid all those bunkers down the right that all the tee shots are going to roll out into. And as we approach the green, we're climbing back up that hill. That bunker on the left should serve as a target, as it'll give you a good angle into this green. Most of these greens are small and circular, but angles still do matter. Now, I thought a 2-iron off the tee would be a perfect layback, but I flushed it and right into one of those fairway bunkers. No way I was going for the green, unfortunately. This is a layup. I believe this was a 6-iron out of the fairway bunker, just trying to lay it down there so I can hit a wedge on the green. About 110 yards short of the flag. This is a full sand wedge up and over the trees, trying to get it back to that flag, but it spun so much off the front of the green. These soft greens were healing from being punched. And man, if anyone's played off of aerated greens, once they come back, those sandy, soft surfaces will take any spinning approach shot and send it right back off the green. Fortunate enough to knock it up there to 6 feet and knock in the par to start the day. There's nothing worse than a bogey on a par 5. Now, the second hole here is pretty tight off the tee and was quite surprising to me, as I did not know what to expect. This was my first time out at Los Verdes, over 30 years living in Southern California, and I finally made it out here. Now, this should be a layup off the tee and a simple wedge into the green, but I did not know any better, so I pulled driver, and it was not the right choice. Now, we're trying to fit the cut into this little tiny fairway, and I just overdid it. Straight into the trees, and we're just trying to punch out. Oh, that was such a horrible break. I hit the punch shot almost too good and right into the curb of the cart path. There's nothing you can really do about it. Time to get up and down. A lob wedge here from just short right of the green. I got this on the putting surface, but it was a long way away, about 25 feet back down towards the ocean. And with these greens healing up, they were relatively slow, so putts needed to be hit hard to stay on line. About 15 feet coming back for bogey now. Definitely not ideal, but that one just barely lipped in for me to salvage that bogey. And we can head on down to the first par 3 of the day. 180 yards heading back up the hill away from the ocean. This might play a little bit longer than it seems because of the property. Now here I'm hitting a smooth 8-iron. About 175 yards is where that club goes. And to the front hole location, I thought this would just be perfect. It was just a little bit short of the flag, but nothing I couldn't putt. A birdie putt here effectively, but with those bumpy greens, they were just hit and hope sometimes, especially over those short, tricky ones. When you're hitting diagonally across those bumps, the ball is just going to hop offline. Now, the hardest hole on the front 9 is this par 4 fourth hole. Now heading across this hill, it's going to slightly peak up to a little bit of a blind tee shot and then drop back down to the left-hand side to that green just in front of that little forest of trees. No bunkers to deal with at all on this long par 4. It's all about the distance and the terrain, which is going to make this hole difficult. We're going to be facing a back center hole location. We're going to have to find a way to get the ball all the way back to that flag. Now another cut for me off the tee. Don't let the shot tracer fool you. This one went a little bit left and down into the gully. I had only 155 yards though to the flag, which should be a smooth 9-iron. I was able to find my line from the fairway, get on down there and hit a good shot. It just barely found the front of the green, and I needed another long one to be lagged properly down close, but man, these greens were tough and tricky to putt. You can see how bumpy these things are underneath the camera, and I just couldn't have any trust in those short putts. Was a little bit frustrated after 3 bogeys in a row. That means we are officially aboard the bogey train, and it's time to hop off at the very next stop. The 5th hole here, a downhill par 3 heading back down to the water. It's going to play a little shorter than the card says. Was finally able to get a nice, smooth 8-iron to turn over for me, and it went right to the front of the green again. Another long lag putt on these bumpy greens, not something I want to see. And I just finally got the ball to the hole, but past the hole and coming back down this slippery green. Thank God we finally made a putt. That was a salvaged par. Man, that salvaged the entire round, to be honest with you. Through 5 holes, the last thing I wanted to see was 4 bogeys. Especially as we head into this very gettable par 5. A par 5 that wraps around the corner of that bunker. Use it as your aiming target off the tee, and hopefully you have enough to jump on over it and into this fat and wide fairway. It's going to head slightly down the hill, and it's pretty smooth as it heads down to this green. I mean, look at these views from this municipal golf course out here in Palos Verdes. I do not know why it took me so long to finally get out here and play this course, but I'm glad that I did. And now looking back, it's going to make me want to go back even sooner. Played a almost perfect drive that went straight over the dogleg and into the trees. There was nothing I could do except punch this thing out, so didn't have to take much time over the ball. It's just a little chip shot with a 5-iron. I kept it under the trees, scooted it down, and not quite onto the fairway. But with this patchy lie over here on the right-hand side, I was able to get a flush pitching wedge on it and finally get a ball on the green for a birdie putt.
Let's go.
I hit that ball to the moon. I have not remembered a round where I've had to hit so many putts so hard because of the conditions of the greens. Now here, the 7th hole heading back up the hill has got to be why this is one of the hardest holes. A ton of trouble off the tee as well for the shorter hitters. Bunkers on the left and the right that I thankfully can fly and just head it down there towards the green. Another bunker on the right is going to protect some hole locations, and this green does sit perched up there. Now coming off that long birdie putt, I was finally really feeling it. A big cut off the tee, and this one went right down Main Street. A simple little approach shot here with the lob wedge was not quite able to get it the distance I wanted to go. If you haven't noticed, proximity to the hole has been my nemesis today. We just can't get it close. But that chip shot did get relatively close, 10 feet. It is makeable. And coming off the birdie, I did not want to drop the stroke, so I just put a clean roll on it, got it up and over the bumps, and was able to find the bottom of the cup. Now the 8th hole here is an awesome par 4. It's rated as the easiest hole here on the front 9. That's probably because of the length. It is a short par 4, but it heads back up the hill, adding a good 15 or 20 yards of distance to it. From where those walkers there on the right-hand side, it's straight up the hill, and the green is going to sit blind for everyone. But if you have enough, you could take your driver and hit it right over the corner. That's what I attempted to do. I took a great line per my playing partner, and well, I was just barely short of the green, about 40 yards short. This is just a little chip shot trying to get it up there, checking short of the stick. I was comfortably 15 feet under the hole, but I certainly would have liked to have been closer. It's no big deal though. A par putt is a par putt, and this isn't quite comfy, but it's the closest thing we've had to a comfy tap-in par all day long to keep us at 2 over. As we head down to the closing hole here on the front 9, this 9th hole is an awesome par 4 slinging back down the hill to this saddle fairway. Avoid the driving range there on the left-hand side. All that fence is going to do is gobble up your golf ball and send it into oblivion. But if you're able to hit a good tee shot, most of the balls will funnel down into this fairway, giving you a look at this green. But you're probably going to have an uneven lie underneath you, and this green just sits there on the side of the hill. If you miss right, it is going to bounce down into those trees. Luckily for me, the cut was starting to work, and 3 holes in a row, I was able to just confidently put it right out in the fairway. Only about 120 yards here from the green. I'm playing a smooth sand wedge, and I was able to flag this pin high. One of the shortest birdie putts I've seen all day. I really felt comfortable over this, but it just didn't break down there the way I thought it would. Hey, thanks for joining us for the front 9. We'll see you next week for 9 more. Later.